All right, guys, welcome to another Screen Team. We've got a full hour of movie reviews for you this evening on your 4th of July weekend. I'm being joined right now by the very lovely and talented, my beautiful wife, Miss Sabrina J. Sabrina, first off, it's very, very good to see you today.
Wow. What do you want?
I want you to review some movies.
Okay, I can handle that.
I want to let everybody know what's coming up in our next half hour. I'll be joined by Jake and Kate, and we'll be doing rock documentaries. We'll be doing the Eagles rock documentary, also one called It Might Get Loud with Jack White and The Edge and Jimmy Page, and we'll finish things off with the Pearl Jam documentary called Pearl Jam 20. But this first half hour, we're doing movies. We'll be doing the brand new Pixar film called Finding Dory. It's the sequel to Finding Nemo. We'll also be doing the movie called The Walk, but we're going to start off with a movie called Cheaper by the Dozen. Now, this might be a movie you might be familiar with if you've seen the Steve Martin and Bonnie Hunt version that came out a few years back. The original actually came out in 1950, I think, and it follows the true story of a family who has 12 kids. 12 kids. Sabrina, did you ever get to see the Steve Martin version?
I'm sure I have, and I know I have, but I couldn't tell you when that was. It's been that long. It was probably when it first came out.
Now, this film is based on the book, Cheaper by the Dozen, by Frank Gilbreth. Is that how you say his name?
Sounds good to me.
All right, that's what we'll say. And it's a true story. They actually had 12 kids, and it's amazing, this relationship between the husband and the wife, and just how they kind of back each other up in so many different ways in this film. Whatever he would say, she would just kind of be like, "Yes, dear." I like their chemistry, and there's times I wish you and I had that kind of chemistry.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd be us if we had that kind of chemistry.
Or you would agree with everything that I say?
Yeah, no, I don't think she actually agreed to everything you said. She was just unbelievably talented at making him think it was his idea.
like for example, he'd be like, "So you're having a baby today?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah.
Yes, dear, I can't be there today. I have an appointment at the hospital." "What for?" "Well, I'm bringing in number 12 today."
"You can't have it here?"
"Well, is it a boy or a girl?" What did we decide on? Let's see. But you could tell they didn't take themselves completely seriously all the time.
Yeah.
Even when Father was just beside himself with losing control of his 11 kids, because they had meetings. Family meeting was held with Robert's Rules of Order. And the kids were allowed to stand up and take the floor and voice their issues or questions or whatever. And whenever Father didn't agree with anything, like getting the dog, he's like, "Bang, bang, bang! This is out of order. You must sit down. You no longer have permission to have the floor." And he would shut them down. And then the second time they tried to get the dog one past, Mother steps in and says, "Well, Father, it looks like you've been overruled." And no matter what, if the kid's voice of reason was sound, Mother always sided with the children in one way or another. "Dear Dad, let's just go ahead and sit down and carve the meat and serve the rest of the kids. I'll go talk to the daughter who just cut off 8 inches of her own hair."
Right.
And then next thing you know, the second daughter's got her hair cut off, and then they're wearing the nylons and the heels, and everything he didn't want to have happen, he kind of gets overruled. But he stands firm, and he has very firm beliefs, and the most important thing to remember from this man is that he believes in saving time.
That's right.
So that you can have those conversations with your children and have those days at the seaside with your children, and so you don't get the idea that he's like a workaholic. He's just very efficient. In fact, the man set a standard for efficiency in several different companies and organizations, and even around the world.
That's how he made his living.
He convinced businesses. He even convinced a doctor to take out all the kids' tonsils in the same day, and then filmed all of the procedures to see if he could figure out a way to save them time and passing the utensils and doing all this stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, that would never happen in today's civilization unless you were one of those families in Utah or something crazy like that,
right,
where you had special privileges. But the idea is that everything was an opportunity to improve.
If I saw this family, if this family was around today, they'd be on TLC or something with their own reality show. Just so many good scenes in this particular film, and I one of my favorite scenes is when father decides, oh, we're moving to a different house,
New Jersey, yeah,
and the kids are all upset, but they pack up, and they're all 12 of them or 11, whatever at the time. They were all in one vehicle, and one of the little kids is running by the vehicle, and the dad honks the horn at him to play a trick on him. So later on in the day, they had to stop. And the father has to fix the carburetor or the engine or something like that. And the kid plays a trick on him and honks the horn. And the father is like,
irate. How dare you? In fact, there's a day for play and there's a day for spankings. And get out of that car. He's going to spank him. And mother starts laughing and she calms everything down and turns it into, it really was a good joke. In fact, I'll bet. And she plays it back on him because he said to the kid, hey, I bet you jumped 9 inches and 3/4, or something out of. And so she repeated it verbatim.
Yeah.
And he changed his tune, and that was the beauty of their relationship. Even with the kids, they were whiny kids just like anybody else's, but man, when he blew that whistle, they were there in 14 seconds.
Right.
And it was like a game. Everything was a game almost to try and figure out who could say the most time. He talks to the principal about the fastest way to take a bath.
Yeah.
And he plays a song to show them how much time they have. To take that bath, and it's just funny. It's amusing, but it's genius.
I also liked how he had, he taught the kids what he believed, and the kids used that against him. Yeah. Like when the kids like you said earlier, how the kids wanted a dog. They were like, Dad,
someone's buying a rug in this house. For $100? All right, I vote that we've only spent $95. And then so he gets that passed. Okay, great. Saving money. That's great. Well, then they say, okay, now we've got $5 to spend. We go buy a $5 dog.
And they would bid on jobs. One of my favorite jokes in there is like, okay, I need someone to paint a fence. Who's going to put a bid on it? And one of the little boys is like, I bid $10. And he's like, what do you want, a government contract here? So there were so many good scenes in this film, and my thoughts are that this is a good family film for anybody. Right?
Oh, anybody. Even Luke sat and watched it a little bit of it now and then with us.
Yeah.
I think it's a great film. I can't compare it to the Steve Martin version because I haven't seen it in so long. But I love this version.
Yeah, I do too.
And I almost want to watch the second one because if it's got Steve Martin in it, it's got to be hilarious.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't get enough love, and it should.
I agree 100% with you, and we definitely have to check out the Steve Martin version. It's called Cheaper by the Dozen. Coming up after the break, we're going to review The Walk. It's next on KWOC.